others can chant.
Ayodhya.
Come on.
Ayodhya Vasina Sarve.
Ayodhya Vasina Sarve.
Palakan Punaragatan.
Palakan Punaragatan.
Vishva Vishishmire Rajan.
Vishva Vishishmire Rajan.
Raja Chapya Vatapita.
Raja Chapya.
Ayodhya Vasina Sarve.
Ayodhya Vasina Sarve.
Palakam Puna Agatam.
Palakam Punaragatam.
Vishva Vishishmire Rajan.
Vishva Vishishmire Rajan.
Raja Chapyan Vatapyata.
Raja Chapya Vatapyata.
Ayodhya Vasina Sarve.
Ayodhya Vasina Sarve.
Balakan Punaragatam.
Balakan Punaragatam.
Drishtva Vishishmire Rajan.
Vishva Vishishmire Rajan.
Raja Chapya Anvatapyata.
Raja Chapya Vatapyata.
Ayodhya Vasine Sarve.
Ayodhya Vasina Sarve.
Balakan Punaragatan.
Balakan Punaragatam.
Drishtva Vishishmire Rajan.
Vishva Vishishmire Rajan.
Raja Chapyan Vatapatya.
Raja Chapya Vatapyata.
Synonyms, word for word. Ayodhya Vasina,
Ayodhya Vasina.
the inhabitants of Ayodhya.
The inhabitants of Ayodhya.
Sarve,
Sarve.
all of them.
All of them.
Balakan,
Balakan.
their sons.
Their sons.
Puna,
Puna.
again.
Again.
Agatam,
Agatam.
having come back to life. Drisva,
Krishna.
after seeing this,
After seeing this,
Vishishmire
Vishishmire
became astonished.
became astounded.
Sorry, astounded.
Astounded.
Is it similar meaning?
Yes.
Rajan,
Rajan.
O King Parikshit.
O King Parikshit.
Raja,
Raja.
King Sagara,
King Sagara.
Cha,
Cha.
also,
Also.
Api,
Api.
indeed,
Indeed.
Anvatapyata,
Anvatapyata.
very much lamented the absence of his sons.
Very much lamented the absence of his son.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat. O King Parikshit,
O King Parikshit.
when all the inhabitants of Ayodhya
All the inhabitants of Ayodhya
saw that their boys had come back to life,
saw that the boys had come back to life,
they were astounded.
they were astounded.
And King Sagara
And King Sagara
greatly lamented the absence of his son.
greatly lamented the absence of his son.
There is no purport, so we chant text 19 through 21. Amsumams chodito ragya.
Anjuman. You should repeat.
Hmm?
Want to switch hands?
Yeah, you can. Why not? Is it up there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it again. Amsumam chodito ragya. Turagan Veshaneyayo Pitribhya Patam Basmanti Dadrishehayam. Translation again by Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, Amsuman, the grandson of Maharaj Sagara, was ordered by the king to search for the horse. Following the same path traversed by his uncles,
following the same path Radha temples,
Amsuman
Anshuman,
gradually reached the stack of ashes
gradually
and found the horse nearby.
and found the horse nearby.
Text number 20. Repeat. Tatra sinam munim vikshya
Tatrasinam munim vikshya,
kapilakyam aroksajam
Kapilakyam adokshakam,
astod samhahita mama
Astat samadhamana,
pranjali pramato mahan.
Pranjali pranamto mahan.
Translation. The great Amshuman
the
The
great
great Amsuman
saw the sage named Kapila,
saw the sage Kapila,
the saint who is an incarnation of Vishnu,
the saint who is the incarnation of Vishnu,
sitting there by the horse.
sitting there by the horse.
Amshuman offered him respectful obeisances,
Amshuman offered him respectful obeisances,
folded his hands,
folded his hands,
and offered him prayers
and offered him prayers
with great attention.
with great intention.
Text number 21. Amshuman uvacha
Amshuman Bhavacha,
pashyati tvam paramatmano jano
Nashati Paramatmano,
nabujyate japi samadhi yuktibi
Na Buddhate Vyapi Samadhi Yuktivi,
kuto pare tasya manak shariradi
Kuto Paritasya Manasarirati,
visarga shrishta vayama prakasha.
Visargasashna Vayamaprakasha.
Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Amshuman said,
Amshuman said,
My Lord,
My Lord,
he's talking to Kapildev, right? Even Lord Brahma is to this very day unable to understand your position,
unable to understand the position,
which is far beyond himself,
which is far beyond himself,
himself,
either by meditation
either
by
by
meditation
or by mental speculation.
or by mental speculation.
So what to speak of others like us,
What to speak of others like us,
who have been created by Brahma
who have been created by Brahma
in various forms
in various forms,
as demigods, animals, human beings, birds and beasts.
as demigods, animals, human beings, birds, and beasts.
We are completely in ignorance.
We are completely in ignorance.
Therefore, how can we know you,
Therefore, how can we know you,
who are the transcendents?
who are the transcendents?
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada begins the purport by citing a verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 27. Icha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. So Lord Krishna spoke to Arjuna, O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. All living beings in the material world are influenced by the three modes of material nature. Even Lord Brahma is in the mode of goodness. Similarly, the demigods are generally in the mode of passion, and living entities lower than demigods, such as human beings and animals, are in the mode of ignorance. Or they're in mixed goodness, passion, and ignorance. Therefore, Amshuman wanted to explain that because his uncles who had been burned to ashes were under the modes of material nature, they could not understand Lord Kapila Dev. So he said, because you are beyond even the direct and indirect intelligence of Lord Brahma, he prayed, Amshuman prayed, unless we are enlightened by your Lordship, it will not be possible for us to understand you. Prabhupada quotes another verse, this time from the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Atapite deva padambuja dvaya prasada leshan grihita eva hi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya ekopi shiram vichinvan. Means, my Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many, many years. The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can be understood by one who is favored by the Lord. The Lord cannot be understood by others. Nice purport with very important instructions. Previously, the sons of Maharaj Sagara, they went to retrieve that horse. The horse was to be used in the Ashwamedha Yajna. And they went, how many of them? 60,000 of them. They searched and searched and searched. And then their search led them to the ashram of Lord Kapila. Kapila Devahuti Putra. Prabhupada always, when he was speaking about Lord Kapila, he always said, Devahuti Putra. He said, because there is another imposter, Kapila, atheist. But Devahuti Putra, Kapila, he is incarnation. So, because he is God. Those 60,000 sons of Sagara, they could not understand him. So they saw the horse there and he was sitting there. They immediately concluded that he's the thief. So we should kill him and take back the horse. But as they moved towards attempting to kill him, the fire within their bodies increased in temperature and they all burned to ashes. And Prabhupada says sometimes people think Lord Kapila burnt them, but actually he didn't, because he has no enemy. He doesn't see friend and enemy. That is the nature of God. Krishna says, confirms this in Bhagavad Gita. I'm equal to everyone. Some may think that he's their enemy, but he doesn't think they're my enemy. And so foolishly they may commit offense. And just the reaction to their offense will take them down. So the Lord himself doesn't have to do anything. He didn't have to act. Hari Hari Bol, Jai Sri Radha Parisisvara Mandir. So, this is true in dealing with the Lord himself. But it is also true in dealing with the Lord's representative, the pure devotee. Every morning we sing Sakshad Daritrena Samasta Shastra Uttastata Bhavyate Sadbi Kintu Pradyanandikila Paramanandam. What am I saying? I'm mixing up the verse. Kintu Prabhoya Priya Evatasya Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam. So, pure devotee, representative of God, is to be worshipped as much as God. Sakshad Hari. Why? Because Kintu Prabhoya Priya Evatat, he is very, very dear to Krishna. So, such kind of devotee, one has to be very, very careful. When we are advised, we should always be careful in our dealings with any devotee, but especially with advanced, Mahabhagavatas. Then that if we are not careful, our spiritual lives can be checked, halted for some time. So that was the case with these sons of Sagara. They couldn't understand. In one of the verses we read here, it mentions that he is Adokshaja. Adokshaja, that is another name for God. Means he's beyond. Prabhupada explained, Adhoksaja means he's beyond awe and shah. Adhoksaja. Beyond the range of our mind and intelligence. So you cannot understand him. Who can understand him? Athapite Deva. One who has gotten a little mercy. He can understand him. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, after he took sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri on the request of his mother. It was a wonderful pastime. When he took sannyas, he wanted to go to Vrindavan right away. But Nityananda Prabhu tricked him and made him make a U-turn And he ended up back in Bengal. He ended up back in Navadvip. And he understood. Nityananda Prabhu has tricked me. I wanted to go to Bengal. So then he was at Advaitacharya's house. And all the devotees came to see him. Because when he left to take sannyas, he didn't tell everybody. He told like 2 or 3 people. Advaitacharya, Nityananda Prabhu. I think he told his mother also. She didn't tell anybody. They didn't tell anybody. So in the morning when he got up early, he just walked out the house. His mother was, Sachimata was standing by the door like a statue. He just walked out past her. Straight to the Ganges. He jumped in and swam to the other side. When he got to the other side, he ran all the way to Katwa, to the ashram of, what's his sannyas guru's name? Keshava. And told him, I want to take sannyas. Just give me sannyas. But to take sannyas, you have to take sannyas from another sannyasi. That is the custom. You know? That when Prabhupada wanted to take sannyas, but Bhaktisiddhanta had already left. Years later, he approached his godbrother. Actually, he approached, first godbrother he approached was Srila Maharaj. Srila Maharaj was Prabhupada's good friend. He lived in Prabhupada's house for 6 years. So that should tell you, they were very close. Because you will not allow anybody to come and live with you for 6 years. Yeah. But this was after the Bhaktisiddhanta had left, Gaudiya Math had split, you know. And Prabhupada invited Srila Maharaj, come and live with me. He wanted his company. He wrote, not wrote, he said in Mayapur, he said, the first time I met Srila Maharaj, I wanted his company because I knew he was a pure devotee. Yes. Anyway, Prabhupada, when he was ready to take sannyas, he approached Srila Maharaj and made sannyas. Srila Maharaj said, no. He refused. He said, why? He said, I lived with you for 6 years. All your family, they know me. If I give you sannyas, they will come to my mat and raise hell. Why you are giving our father sannyas? Why you are giving my husband sannyas? So he says, that's what will happen. If I give you sannyas, they will come to me and give me trouble. So he said, so I won't give you sannyas. But Prabhupada was so determined because he wanted to preach. And he understood. So he went to Keshav Maharaj. Keshav, another god brother, he lives in Mathura, near Vrindavan. And he asked him and he said, sure. So Prabhupada took sannyas from him. And then he was ready to embark on world preaching. because most of the devotees, most of Prabhupada's godbrothers, etc., they didn't understand. They always just saw him as, they thought he was a paka grihasta. But they had no idea what he, who can understand? It takes one to know one. Really, that is true. It takes another Mahabhagavat to know one Mahabhagavat. Others cannot know. So anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri because his mother, Sachimata, she came to see him at Advaita Acharya's house, cooked for him all his favorite preparations. Because when he took sannyas and he left, he was trying to go to Vrindavan, traveled for 3 days, no prasadam. So Advaita Acharya said, you need to eat. Come, I will cook for you. So him and his wife, Sita Mataji, they cooked nice prasadam, fed Mahaprabhu. Then Nityananda invited all Vaishnavas to come and invited Sachimata also. Only one person he didn't invite. Mahaprabhu told him, when he asked, shall I invite everybody to come and see you? He says, all except one. And Nityananda Prabhu knew that one is Vishnu Priya. So she could not come. This was the culture, this was the custom. So when Sachimata came and saw Mahaprabhu, this is the first time she's seen him in a few days. And all his beautiful hair is gone, shaved up, clean, and wearing saffron, She starts crying. All devotees are gathered around. Many of them are crying too. They want him the way he was, Nimai Pandit. That's who they wanted. So she's crying and Mahaprabhu saw. It was a very touching scene. He went and he fell down at her feet, touched his head to her feet. And he says, Mother, this body belongs to you. Right? We get our body from our mother. One belongs to them. He says, so this body belongs to you. You gave me this body. But in a moment of madness, somehow or other, I took sannyas. He's trying to explain. He said, I don't know what I was thinking. Somehow or other, I took sannyas. He said, in a moment of madness. Everybody's listening quietly. He said, but what to do? If you order me right now, I'll give up this sannyas and come back home. Everybody's shocked. Yeah, Mahaprabhu saying like that. And Sachimata, she said, no, you can't do that. I won't let you do that. If you do that, everybody will be talking about you, gossiping. In the village, everybody will be talking, saying, they will think, he's a mama's boy. Took sannyas, now he's going back home to live with his mother. She said, I couldn't tolerate that. I couldn't bear to hear people speak bad of you. So that won't do. You cannot give up sannyas. This is your dharma. You must do it. So Mahaprabhu said, then what to do? And she said, Sachimata, she said, go to Jagannath Puri and make your headquarters there. It's like another room in the house. All devotees from Bengal, they will go there for Rath Yatra. If you are there, they will all go. And when they come back, they will bring news of you. And I'll be happy with that. So that's what I think you should do. So Mahaprabhu said, okay. So, Jai Sachimata, Jai Sachinandana. He went there. But when he got there, first person he had interaction with was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, great scholar, logician. He was the greatest logician of all time, greatest logician of India. But not only India, greatest logician of the whole world. No one could compare with him. All the sannyasis used to come to him to hear his discourse on Vedanta Sutra. But he was steeped in Shankaras, Mayavad philosophy. But still, although he was grihastha, all the sannyasis, Mayavad sannyasis, would come to him to hear, to learn Vedanta. So he seen Mahaprabhu as a young sannyasi, he's only 24 years old. And he knew where he came from, his father and so on. So he thought, I should help him. He took sannyas so young, too young. Normally people take sannyas after 50. But Mahaprabhu couldn't wait. Because he did that for us. So, anyway, Sarvabhauma thought, he expressed, after Mahaprabhu's devotees from Bengal had arrived, and they were following him, but he ran ahead and he got to Puri before everybody else. And then Nityananda Prabhu and the others, they come. And while they're there, Sarvabhauma expressed, I want to help you. I want to help teach you, so you can teach you Vedanta, so you can maintain your vows, your sannyas vow. Because otherwise, it's not easy to maintain that. We saw many of Prabhupada's disciples he gave sannyas to. The great majority of them could not maintain the vows. So when Sarvabhauma says, I want to help you, help him, teach him Vedanta. Mahaprabhu's devotees didn't like that. They said, You want to help him? Are you nuts? He can help you. You don't know who you're talking to here, you know. Sarvabhauma didn't know. In fact, he used to have discussions, arguments regularly with his brother-in-law. What was his name? Gopinath. Gopinath Acharya was married to Sarvabhauma's brother, and they lived in the same house. And they would have discussions and talks. Sarvabhauma, you know, he was saying, this young sannyasi, you know, and he was talking like this. I want to help him. And Gopinath says, you don't know who you're talking about. You don't know who you're dealing with. This is Bhagavan. And Sarvabhauma says, you think he's Bhagavan? Yes, I know. Sarvabhauma says, I am not like you Bengalis. So you take ordinary people as Bhagavan. So many gods are in Bengal. Bogus. He said, I don't go like that. I go by Shastra. And he knew Shastra very well. But they would argue like this, and Gopinath would cite evidence, and still Sarvabhauma wouldn't accept. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Remember, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna coming in a covered way, Chenna. He's coming in disguise, and Sarvabhauma can't recognize him. And one of the verses that Gopinath Acharya cited was this same verse that Prabhupada cited. But it says, Atapi te deva padambujadaya prasadaleshanu grihita eva hi janati tadvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya ekopi shiram vichinvan. Unless one is favored and in the mercy of the Lord, you cannot understand. So Gopinath told Sarvabhauma this verse, says, you cannot understand. What are you talking about? I'm the great Sarvabhauma. I'm a big Pandit. He was the Pandit, the Guru of the king also. And so many sannyasis are coming in. So he was, what do you mean that I don't understand Shastra? I don't understand this is God. He said, you cannot understand. Why? Because you didn't get any mercy. He said, so you want to tell me that I don't have the mercy and you have the mercy? Yes. Look, he said, he's right here in your house and you can't understand him. So he was poking Sarvabhauma like this. Eventually, Sarvabhauma got the mercy. And then he could understand Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, even great, not just by studying Vedas, you know, but one who is a devotee, he can understand. Prabhupada would say, Krishna didn't speak Bhagavad Gita to some Pandit or some Brahman. He spoke it to a Jew. He's a Kshatriya. Why? Because he's his friend, his devotee. Even when Krishna was present, so many people saw him, but not everybody knew. Not everybody could understand he is the Bhagavan. Only few people. Pandavas, they knew. Bhishma, he knew. Although he took the wrong side to fight her. But he knew. And people, Vidura knew, So continue for sure. In her Kunti's prayers, wonderful prayers, she comes right out and says it. She says, you're acting like if you're my nephew, but I know who you are. You're like an actor. Comes on stage. When an actor comes on stage, he's in costume and everything. But those who know him, they can recognize him right away. So she said, I know who you are. So, this, what's his name? Amshuman? Yeah. Apparently he can understand. He come in the presence of Kapila. He said, you are transcendence. You are... He's very humbly saying, how can we know who you are? We are all in ignorance. Even Lord Brahma can't understand you. And he's in Sattvagun. Demigods, they cannot understand you. So he said, how can we know you? How is it possible to know you when we are completely in ignorance? So he's speaking like this, and what is our position? We are really steeped in Tamagun. You don't understand. But we get a little mercy from Prabhupada, then we can begin to understand. Other people can't. When I went back to Trinidad, I'm from Trinidad, Pirates of the Caribbean. I went back and I stayed at a temple. They asked me to be president there. I didn't want to be president at the time because I'd been president before in Laguna Beach, California. But I went back to Trinidad and the GBC man said, you're the best person for the job. I didn't want to. I said, look, I've been there and done that already. But he was pleading with me. So I accepted the post and I said, I will only do it on one condition. He said, what is that? I said, I'll only do it until you find somebody else to do it. I said, but you got to look for somebody because I don't want to do it. So he said, sure. But after 3.5 years, I realized he's not looking for anybody. He's not looking for anybody. Not once did he say, I found somebody. No. So I left. I told him, I told you, so don't be upset with I'm going. Because I was getting invitations from devotees around the world to come and chant. And that was more attractive to me, to go and chant, than to, I thought, I don't want to be stuck in management. Anyway, while I was in Trinidad, half the population in Trinidad are Indians, brought there by the British in colonization, They brought there. many small little temples dot all over the island, Hindu temples, all worshipping demigods. And sometimes some of them would be nice and invite us to come and chant, come and do kirtan at their temple, and we'd go. And a few times I'd take the invitation and we'd go and chant. A few times some of them would say, "We have a question, tell me, why only Krishna?" Why only Krishna? Yeah, why you guys only worshiping Krishna? Why not Shiva, and this one, and that one, and that one? I would say, because Krishna is too Bhagavan Swayam. He's the original, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And, and Krishna himself says in Gita, those who worship the demigods, they're less intelligent. And even those demigods themselves would say, he is Bhagavan. Right? So I said, that's why. But I don't know if he understood or if they understood or not. They continued with their own way. It's hard for them to break those habits. But they couldn't understand why were we so convinced? How do we know that Krishna is? Because of Srila Prabhupada. Get a little mercy, one drop of mercy. You can understand. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you read Prabhupada's book, practically on every page he says it. Again and again and again. The Supreme Personality of God is like redundant. Because he knows we don't get it. So these Supreme Personality of God can be understood by one who is favored by the Lord. Others cannot understand. They can speculate all they want for long time. And still they won't understand. Okay, you can stop there. Maybe there's one question somebody has.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Haribo.
Thank you so much for your wonderful association. Thank you again for coming to Mauritius. From that time,
Yeah.
I knew you.
Yeah.
And,
I love Mauritius.
And plus, by your wonderful association, we come to know that you were there in Trinidad, and as you mentioned, that the British sent the people from India to Trinidad, and you were born there.
Yeah.
So I can understand that you're originally from India.
No,
No?
I'm not Indian.
I mean to
I
say,
am mixed. I'm like Khichdi. In Trinidad, it's like what do you call this? A melting pot. First the British brought African slaves from Africa, and they were doing all the work. They brought Chinese to put on the railroad, but there was one group in England. They called themselves the abolitionists. They were a Christian-oriented group, and belief was that the slavery is against Christianity. They thought this is against the teachings of Christ. So they went through the proper channels, and they submitted a bill, and that bill was passed in Parliament, and slavery was abolished. So they had to set all the slaves free in their colonies. They had many colonies around the world. So in Trinidad, the Africans were, okay, you're free. So then the plantation managers who were managing the plantations, they went to Parliament and to complain. They said, you set all the slaves free, who's going to do all the work? They were enjoying free labor. And Parliament says, relax. We still have the Indians, because they were also occupying India for 200 years. So they began to send Indians to the colonies to work. They couldn't call them slaves, but they came up with a name for them. They called them indentured laborers. Indentured laborers. What that meant was, for 5 years, they have to work for no pay.
Oh.
They were like slaves, but they call them indentured laborers. 5 years, no pay. They get a place to live and food. And then after 5 years, they said, if you want to go back to India, we'll give you free passage on a ship. This is the days of ships moving, no airplanes. And then they said, and if you don't want to go back to India, you can stay here. Most of them, the majority, decide, it's a nice place. It's tropical, year-round growing seed. You can grow food all year round. In Trinidad, you can get watermelon all year round. So they stayed, and they worked hard, and they prospered, and they're pretty established. They occupy many seats in the government and so on. Haribo. But I noticed when I went back, I'd been gone from Trinidad for like 30-something years. When I left Trinidad and I went to America, to New York, I never heard anything about Krishna. Because they do not preach, the Hindus. I found Krishna in New York. Because why? Prabhupada had the devotees out on Sankirtan, on the streets, chanting. And I was young, I was 21 years old. And I heard the kirtan, and I thought, what is that? I didn't know what to make of them. But I liked the sound of the kirtan. I thought that was pleasing, but I had no idea what it is they're singing. So they invited me to come to the temple. I came to the temple, and I liked everything. Everything I liked, except they were living too austerely. Yeah. Because the temples were poor in those days. They had no money. So because of that, first time I went to the temple, I spent a night in the temple. They convinced me to spend the night. But then, from time to go to bed, there was no beds. They didn't even have mats or sleeping bags. That came later on. They just sleep on the bare floor. And they didn't even have money to turn on the heat. So there was no hot water. In New York, during the winter, it's very cold. So I thought, I like Krishna consciousness, I like so many things, but I'm not going to go live with them. That is too much. I hadn't heard Prabhupada yet, I hadn't met him yet. Then after several months, Prabhupada comes and he spoke, and I got to hear him speak in the temple. After his lecture, all my reasons for not joining went out the window. I knew I have to join now. I want to follow him. See? But still trying to follow him. Anyway. So let's start there. It's already 5 after. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Kathas.
प्रभु की
जय।
Our prayer will be